Yo, what's going on? You tapped into another episode of Cut Different TV. I'm your host, Sebastian Ryder, and today we got somebody multifaceted in the building. We got Jersey's own entrepreneur, artist. She does a little bit of everything. We got Ajay Coker in the building. What's going on?
What's going on? Hey, Ryder.
You know, I'm chilling. I'm here. You know what I'm saying? It's hot. The lights is bright.
Yeah,
You
I
feel
feel
me?
it.
But welcome to Cut Different, though. You know, the goal of this platform is really to just kind of, learn more about you as an artist, tell your fan base a little bit more so that they can get to know you. Mm-hmm. But also, what makes you cut different, right? So let's start from the beginning. Jersey's own.
Well, I am Ajay Coker, and I think it's amazing how this show is called Cut Different because I am raw and uncut. I'm from Sierra Leone, and being from Franklin, a lot of us live there, like Sierra Leonians. So it's like we still have like our upbringing, like our parents' upbringing, while like being raised in America. So the influence is just heavy coming from being West African and also being like American, That's pretty much what I would say, like growing up in Franklin.
Of course. So like kind of blurring the line between cultures.
Yes.
Word.
Like the perfect mix.
Word.
Like that's just me.
That's what's up. And so growing up in that environment, right, like you got influence from both sides, but then, being an entrepreneur, and we'll get into that as well, right? But being an artist, most importantly, it's like, where do you draw that influence from? You sound like, I listened to your music, I was like, damn, she sound like Remy Ma.
Honestly, I've always loved music. Like, I've always had a passion for rapping, singing, whether it's theater, musical, stuff like that. Like, I've always loved doing it, even coming up in school. But I'll say, like, the courage and, like, just being, like, confident enough to, like, want to put myself out there was the issue. So it's just, like, you also got people in the back, like, that they don't believe in themselves. Like, there's not a lot of people that really know their purpose. So to find that encouragement elsewhere I never had that, basically. So then just to fast forward to what gave me the inspiration, it was like after 2019, like I was dating somebody and he passed away. And while we was dating, that used to be my biggest supporter. Like, he used to just shout things out and be like, yo, you should do this. You should do that. He used to want me to rap so bad because, like, oh, yeah, I write. Like, I really love to write poetry, essays. English was always my thing. Like, I know how to really express myself. So it comes easy to me. And he used to just always say, like, yo, you should really, like, do this, do that, do that. But then I'm just thinking to myself, like, me being that light. Yeah. But after he died, I'm just like, why not me? Like, this is it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
sometimes, like, in RIP, but, sometimes, too, like, when you're super close to the elephant, like, when somebody's always like, yo, do this, do this, do this. Sometimes it's kind of like that natural, like, human instinct to be like, nah, like, when somebody's telling you to do something, nah, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But then when it goes away, and now it's up to you to make the decision, that then becomes your why. Because it's true. Like, that's who you're doing it for now. You feel me? And a lot of people, you mentioned the purpose piece, a lot of people don't know their why either.
Yeah.
So is that, obviously that influence and that support that you had, you want to make that person proud also, but is there something else that drives you, right?
Honestly, it's myself. Like, I feel like I owe it to myself. Like, sometimes, you see that I'm talking about purpose, I could be motivated by somebody, but my biggest motivator is me. I'm the person who's going to tell myself, you got to do this, you got to do that. And if anybody's going to talk me down, it's usually myself as well. So everything I do is for me because I know I'm enough. And it took time, but I know it. The vibe is here. It ain't going nowhere.
I feel that. And so do you believe in, like, manifestation and
yes,
law
of course. I do. I definitely do. I feel like when you got it, you just got to keep putting that those affirmations out there, literally just believing and praying. Like, I'll say this. I don't know about anybody else, but God is real. And if you don't have a connection with him, you have to find yourself one way or another. So for me, that's all I put my faith in.
Yeah, so like, you know, manifestation, speaking shit into existence, and like that's obviously important to you. And I know you got a bunch of different sounds and you got a bunch of different vibes, and we'll get into that. But first song I heard from you was Badness. And, you know, when you rap in that, it sounds crazy. The bars is there as wild, but you really popping your shit in that. Yeah. And I think, you know, when you hear an artist really going crazy and really spitting, it's like there's a little bit of manifestation, speaking shit into existence, but then there's also a huge belief behind that. Yeah. So, you know, now that I'm around you, I definitely feel the Badness energy, but like, where did that song stem from? Like, were you just in the stew going crazy and you were like, all right, I like this hook? Or what was the vibe around that time?
Definitely the hook was in the stew going crazy. I heard someone else's vibe, and I just felt like it was just not it. And then I just challenged it. It was just being just the biggest bully that I am sometimes. So it was just like, nah. And then I did that. And then I just stuck with it because when I heard it, it was just so fire. It was just so crisp. And I was just like, yeah. And I told you, like, I like poetry. So, you know, that's like, how do you call it? You ever, like, when it's like, how much chuck could a woodchuck chuck if a wood, like a chuck tongue twister? Yeah. So, yeah, it was like that.
Yeah, you know, my madness.
My badness is causing madness. Is giving havoc. I ain't finna let them have it.
Fire.
So, yeah.
And so the hook gravitated. The hook was going crazy. You heard it. You was like, yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, that was it.
I've talked to a bunch of artists, and, you know, artists will say all the time, like, yo, I was just in this mode. Like, the baby was talking about when he made, I think it was Suge, he had literally just signed his first deal. And so he went in the studio. He was like, I just signed a deal. I'm on, right? So what was the vibe around that day, right? Like, you were just... You know, before going into the studio, how were you feeling? What energy were you in?
I was just, you know what? I don't remember what compelled me to want to go to the studio that day. But all I know is I was fiending. Like, I was just like, sometimes actually you do get a rush to just want to go and record. Like, it's just like, nah. Or sometimes I'm just not even feeling good. I just want to record. So those was just one of those days. It was like that. And like I said, like, I was looking mad good, too. So it was just like, maybe I just didn't want to be home. It could have been one of those, too. But I just know I was definitely feeling myself OD.
I feel that. And feel that. So, you know, moving forward and, you know, we're gonna hear that song live today, cut different exclusive live performance. Yes. You know the vibe. But so, you know, getting into, you know, in your musical bag too, like I've heard some of the new stuff that you've been working on, and you got a bunch of different sounds. And so the creative process, is that different for when you're about to make a rap record? Is that different when you're about to sing? Like, what's that process, and how do you tap into those different bags?
Well, usually nothing is really intentional. So, like, when I hear beats, I'll, like, whatever vibe comes to me, that's what I'm going to do. So if it's, like, rapping, okay, fine. Like, I haven't really been in, like, under pressure to be like, okay, I have to, like, you know, this, I have to sing here, or I have to this or whatever. Or even features, like, when somebody gets, it's just like, you know, sometimes I don't even want to be influenced by what they're doing. I just want to go off the vibe that I'm feeling. And that's just how it's created, to be honest.
Word up. That's fire. And so not to completely do a 180, but to completely do a 180. You're an entrepreneur too, right?
Yes.
So you do hair and you got other bags that
hair, you sell hair. I also like, I'm into like, I cater. Yeah. And I'm also a student. I don't like to usually talk about it sometimes. Yeah. I got my first degree already, but I also am back in school. Yes. So, yeah, I ain't going to talk about it too much.
Ain't nothing to hide.
But she going to see. Ain't nothing to hide. But, you know, sometimes, I like to manifest in private. Like, I just, you know, I just like to pop out. You see what you get, you know, see what you get.
You manifest in public too much, then you're subject to the energy of the people that are, you know, it could be.
I'm not trying to impress anybody. Like, everything is personal. So it's going to kind of be hard to keep up, you know? Like, I'm not trying to keep up with anybody. I'm not trying to make anybody feel less than themselves. In fact, as you see me, when you see me, you should even try to even, you know, big yourself up. You should feel better about yourself, want to do more, want to be better, you know?
And you are constantly getting better every day by
the grace of God.
Exactly. And putting yourself out there as an artist and as an entrepreneur And, you know, especially coming from a culture too where it's like education and traditional mindsets is, you know, where the foundation of it, right? And if you do something different, then it's kind of like, all right, well, if you're going to do it, you better do it good. You know what I'm saying? How has that played into kind of you balancing all these things?
That is usually one of the biggest struggles when it comes to these type of things, because it's like people already have a way how they want to view you.
Yeah.
And when our parents are raising us, they're raising us to be viewed a certain way. And it's like most of the time I just find it, because both of my parents are scholars. They're both college graduates. And had I had said, no, I didn't want to go to school, I probably would be ostracized. Like, I don't think they will fuck with me, for real. Like, but the fact, when I finished, it was go time for me. It was just like, all right, y'all got that degree. That was for y'all. Now, I'm not saying I'm not going to go back and do what I want to, but this time, it's for me. Everything I'm going to do is personal. And how everything was happening, I had no other choice but to just say, nobody couldn't tell me anything anyways, because I was just going through too much. So it was kind of just like, allow her be. So I feel like everything was designed that way by God, literally.
I feel that.
Yeah.
And respect. And it's great that, like, you know, I mean, I'm not going to say, like, everybody, oh, you're so articulate. Yeah. But it's great that you can articulate that and understand, like, where that comes from and understand, like, what drove you. You feel me? And that's great. So kind of moving forward into the piece of, you know, where we are now, right? And, you know, you got some other stuff that you're working on. You got some new tracks that you sent over. What can we expect from you moving forward?
Y'all pray for me, y'all. But definitely more music. An EP is definitely in the works. That one, I'm really trying. You see how I said, like, a lot of things are just vibes?
Yeah.
I think that's the problem. Like, I'm trying to apply discipline into it because it's not as easy as it looks. Like, it's one thing to, like, catch a vibe and do a verse or, you know, put out a song. But when you're making a project, I feel like, and especially when you've seen other greats put out projects, there's definitely pressure. There's definitely pressure, but it's not just about the pressure, but you want to be intentional about certain things, about the message that you're trying to convey. That's basically what I'm trying to, like, work on right now. Like, I don't want it to just be, you know, an EP is just 6 songs. Okay, but, like, something where you could replay, and not only that, you're getting, like, some type of feeling, something that can connect to people.
For sure.
Like, that is what I'm trying to do right now, and it's working. I'm just not trying to force anything. You know what I mean? So yeah, but look forward to, you know, my EP coming.
For sure.
Yes.
For sure. Can you give us insight on, like, you know, I know that you're working on the soundscape, working on the theme, working on the message, right? But, like, do you have any insight into, like, hey, like, what's going on in your life right now that, like, is inspiring you to, like, make this? Because, I mean, it's a big difference going from making singles and dropping projects, or not dropping projects, but doing singles and doing features and all these things, and then saying, you know what, nah, like, I'm going to put a project out. Like, what's the difference? What's the shift in energy? I mean, I know it's vibes.
So, okay, you see, with features also, like, even sometimes, like, now I want to make songs where it's just me. Like, you know, I do have the tendency sometimes to be like, oh, okay, you know, somebody comes to the studio with me or something, like, you know, collaborate. It's cool and all, but now I kind of just want to lock in with myself and kind of just, like, you know, feel my own energy, try to bring this light out. Because right now, this is like a season of, like, of blessings in all types of forms. Not just also, like, positive things. Sometimes negative things that do happen to you are blessings as well. And I've been dealing with a lot of pressure of just, like, fallouts. I'm very sensitive, and just knowing when to, like, you know, put that aside, but also learn how to still be expressive, and just kind of, like, you know, unapologetically just be myself and, like, you know, be comfortable with it, whether somebody else doesn't like it or not. But also, like, I don't want to be in a way where someone doesn't feel like they can't be me. And I mean, you can't be me, but do something that you see that I'm doing. Like, I don't want to give up the impression like it's impossible.
Like it's like you're untouchable.
Yeah. Because it's definitely possible. Like, I do have an attitude sometimes where it's just like, you're either going to be inspired or intimidated. And I'm okay with either one of them. But as long as you're feeling me, you know what I mean? In some way. That's just really that vibe in that EP, definitely, with all those songs. And, I think that's really the vibe. See, like, Burna Boy, see how he just kind of like, I love him. I like how he just, like, how he expresses himself. And without, you know, even sometimes people say, like, oh, you probably shouldn't say that. Nah, it's cool.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Because the thing is, like, not everybody's going to like you. Damn sure not everybody's going to love you. Some people are going to hate you. Some people are going to be like, she all right. But at the end of the day, like, as long as you're putting something out that makes them form an opinion on you, you're doing your job as an artist because you're challenging the way that they're thinking. You know what I'm saying? So that's fire.
Yeah.
And it sounds like we got some heat coming from the EP.
Inshallah. I mean, yes.
Yeah. Hell yeah. So where can they find you at? I mean, you do a bunch of things, though, so plug everything. Like,
so Instagram is where I market myself. Instagram, Ajaycoker. Twitter, same thing, Ajaycoker. TikTok too, same thing. Like, I'm on pretty much every social platform, but Instagram is definitely a tool that I use to market myself. It works for me.
For sure.
Yeah.
And so you got your hair and all your other stuff plugged in on there?
Everything is on
All right,
Instagram.
bet. So, ladies, if you need to get your hair done, if you're in Jersey, you know where to
Look
go.
like Coker, LOOK_COKER. Yes, book. My booking page is on there. Come get slayed.
Yeah. Come get slayed and come get a 16, too.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Facts. Well, we about to get to some music, but again, you know, we really appreciate having you on. You're definitely, you're the first artist that's come on that, like, has, like, oh, well, I'm doing this and I'm doing that. And so balancing an interview around that and making sure that we touch on all those topics is definitely key, because ultimately that's what makes you cut different, right?
Definitely.
Is that you bring so many different things to the table. And before we go, the last thing I'm going to ask you, right? We always ask, oh, what makes you cut different? But you just told us. So now it's like, what is that one motto that you wake up, I don't know if you do this, if you're weird, like if you wake up and look yourself in the mirror in the morning and say it to yourself, or if there was something that you would, maybe that you live by, what would that one thing be, that motto?
The first thing I do when I wake up is pray. That's what I do. Like, I'm a Muslim, and like I said, really talking to God, just saying thank you for me being there. I'd be terrified. I don't know what's coming. So that's what I do. As for myself, yeah, definitely. I'm always on go mode. That's just what it is. Always looking for money. That's it.
She in her bag. You heard it first. And you probably heard it on some of her records too. But, you know, that's neither here nor there. But without further ado, thank you guys tuning in for another episode of Cut Different TV. And hold on. If y'all still watching this video all the way through and you haven't hit the like button, you haven't commented, you haven't shared with anybody, and you haven't subscribed, I don't even know what you're doing. You not cut different. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button. You know what I'm saying? Stay tuned for more dope content we got coming for y'all. And, I'm Sebastian Ryder, and I'm with
Ajay Coker, signing out.
And we outside. Summer ain't over yet.